Hey guys, it's Tuesday, September 12th, 2017. This is the Daily Mix TV. So Starbucks raised their prices quietly, and it looks like some people just are not happy about it, understandably. According to our friend Aly Walansky, who wrote a piece for the Today Show, and before I get into this, I gotta say, I love Aly's work. She is a dynamic, intrepid journalist. She writes for so many publications and outlets. You know, once she gets her claw into a story, she just doesn't let it go, and I love that about her. According to her piece, 10% of the beverage products have seen a price increase at Starbucks. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems a bit much considering how pricey Starbucks is already. In general, these items, including certain brewed coffee and espresso drinks, breakfast sandwiches, and baked goods, saw a 10 to 30 cent price increase. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot. But if your usual weekday habit goes up 30 cents per day, it means you're going to be spending about an extra $80 over the year. Now, this new strategy by Starbucks is designed to bolster their profits in the face of flat or declining store traffic over the last couple of years. They've been trying to find ways to boost their bottom line by adding more menu items and increasing prices to up the ante on customer spend per visit. Customer spend per visit is an incredibly important analytic because it shows where your business is going. It shows what your volume of drive is for each customer at each visit and what you can do to adjust those levels and try and increase your revenue. Now, is it working is the question. Only time will tell, but trends like everything else come in cycles. So just given what we're seeing in terms of the spending economy, I have a feeling we're about to see people return to the good old days of making their own coffee for pennies on the dollar in the morning at home versus spending $5 a cup at coffee outposts like Starbucks. Look, I'm a caffeine junkie like most of my fellow marketers and business folks, but Starbucks is already known for being a pricey cup of joe. This is not going to help their reputation. And on top of it, last month they announced they were closing their online store. Now, and they were doing that to focus on the in-store experience, to drive up in-store sales, and so on. Guys, you don't increase your prices when you want consumers to spend more money in your store and spend more time in your store. We're going to keep an eye on this one for you, but when the fourth quarter results come in January, I have a feeling we're going to see a fairly stark response by the Starbucks customer base. Now, last night, Kylie and I went to a book reading for one of Rock and Rawhide's volunteers. Remember, Rock and Rawhide is the charity that my wife Kylie and I founded 5 years ago to help increase the level of adoptions of dogs and cats in shelters. The volunteer's name is Helaina Hovitz, and she wrote, "After 9/11, one girl's journey through darkness to a new beginning." Basically, Helaina grew up in the shadows of the World Trade Center. On that fateful day 16 years ago, she was a 12-year-old girl at a local public school. The book is all about what it was like to be a child from the neighborhood and deal with the attacks themselves, let alone the aftermath of 9/11, including PTSD and more. Helena's been a Rock and Rawhide roadie. Roadies are our volunteer corps, and we always try to support them in whatever way we can. But I gotta say, I am so proud of Helaina for all that she's achieved in the face of such tragedy. I lost a lot of friends on that day. And I was at my offices in Midtown Manhattan in a meeting. I had to shut down the meeting and evacuate because that was the order from the city. But people like Helaina, who were really in the nitty gritty, in the thick of this disaster and this just horrific event, the fact that she's been able to rise from the ashes and become the journalist she is, become the author she is, it does my heart good. So congratulations, Helaina. We love you. We're so proud of you. Can't wait to see what you do next. Okay, now, I know the world has gone too far with respect to pumpkin spice. I just can't even believe I'm telling this story. Yesterday it was announced that Greenies, which is the dental chew brand that dogs across the world love, including our own Snickers and Rolo, they go wild over Greenies. They've just launched a limited edition pumpkin spice flavored dental treat. I mean, seriously, come on. You know how many pumpkin spice products there are on the market right now? Okay, according to Mars Petcare Dog Treats marketing director Anna Rudeva, the Greenies brand strives to find clever and ingenious ways to make pup parenting more fun. Our new limited edition pumpkin spice flavored dental treats help pet parents share the celebration of fall with their pet while brushing their teeth with a tasty pumpkin spice treat. Look, the treats will be available during the month of September in a 12-ounce bag. They carry a suggested retail price of about $18, $17.99. Now, here's where I think this is genius and where it's not. Capitalizing on trends in the pet space is very difficult. Flavor trends, especially because you have to draw parallels to human consumption, are always a challenge because often canines and cats cannot enjoy the same types of ingredients humans can. As an example, chocolate. Dogs cannot eat chocolate. It is poison to them. Pumpkin, obviously, is a different story, but to be able to push out against the pumpkin spice craze is brilliant for Greenies. I mean, look, Mars is a great company, brilliant marketer, but where this isn't smart is the oversaturation of pumpkin spice, everything consumers have basically become exhausted by. What do I mean by that? All right. As a marketer, you need to keep an eye on what's going on in the market, what's going on in product development. For the last few years, you've had this really sharp increase in August, September, October, and early November in pumpkin spice flavor trend. The issue is it reached its plateau and it's starting to decline now. You've got an oversaturation of pumpkin spice products that have been released in the last couple of months, from everything from cookies to coffee to even lip gloss. It's crazy. When you overdo product rollout against a trend, you've got to be careful that consumers are not dog tired of it. And right now, there's a reason why Maple has made a huge comeback this month. Knowing the folks at Greenies and Mars Petcare, this is going to be a huge hit because it is that limited. But I caution any pet marketer, do not follow this trend going into 2018 as you do your development cycle over the next couple of months in R&D and in testing. You're going to run into a wall and you're going to spend a lot of money to develop this, and then it's going to fall flat on its face because Maple will overtake pumpkin spice next year. Now, if you're like me, at 1 p.m. Eastern today, you're going to be glued to your iMac, your Apple TV, or your MacBook to watch the Apple Keynote. That's right. Today is the day that Apple will host its first keynote in the new Steve Jobs Theater at their Spaceship campus. I got to tell you, it's a little bittersweet for some of us that got to meet Steve. I got to meet him a couple times and watched as Apple grew into this behemoth lifestyle brand that it's become today. It's bittersweet because while Tim Cook has done an incredible job as CEO, and don't get me wrong, I love Tim. I love everything he stands for. He's such an incredible leader. You know, it is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone, which was Steve's baby, and it brought the company endless fame and fortunes. Now, I digress. I'm not going to waste everyone's time with details since the endless stream of certifiable leaks has been hitting the net for the last couple of weeks. But look for the new iPhone, which most are saying will be called the iPhone X, as well as two other models that'll be called the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. They're really more like a 7S and a 7 Plus S, or 7S Plus. There's also going to be the Apple TV with 4K and HDCP capability, Apple Watch that's got LTE capability, meaning it doesn't need to be tethered to an iPhone, as well as potential updates to AirPods, more news on HomePod, which is being released, I believe, in December, and of course, new versions of iOS and macOS. There will probably be a couple of other surprises, so I'm super excited. We'll do a deeper dive from the marketing and business side tomorrow on the Daily Mix TV. Now, you all know I love national retailers that pay attention to local market trend and put investment back into the communities they do business in. You've heard the Daily Mix TV talk about Nordstrom's recent innovations, and, you know, don't get me wrong, department stores are a dinosaur, but it's ones like Nordstrom that are paying attention to the ebb and flow of trend in the market that will come out on top and make people proud to shop at department stores again. Now, we can combine the two thoughts, that's local and innovation, into the latest announcement from the Dallas-based department store. Nordstrom's is going local. They're debuting a small format retail concept that is just completely driven by personal service. It's got no dedicated inventory, meaning they're not stocking actual product in this new concept. The department store giant will unveil Nordstrom Local on October 3rd in one of my favorite places, West Hollywood, California. It's going to be a 3,000 square foot footprint. The new format is much smaller than their average 140,000 square foot store. It's going to offer services such as on-site tailoring, manicures, BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store, and easy returns. It even has a beverage bar. Guys, this is a very cool concept. In this new service-driven concept, consumers will actually be able to meet with personal stylists, making an appointment online, over the phone, or in person to take advantage of this free service. Now, their responsibility as the stylist is to give styling tips, and they can transfer requested merchandise from Nordstrom stores in the area or its website to that Nordstrom Local location for those shoppers. Now, the rooms where you do this are surround a central meeting space where consumers can sit and chat with a stylist. It's a very cool concept that's entirely driven, and you're looking at the sort of feed of services that will be available at Nordstrom Local. It's a completely stylized, service-focused business model that is designed to capitalize on the trend of service that recently surveys have started showing millennials are looking for. Now, in addition, Nordstrom Local will debut Style Boards. It's a new tool that allows salespeople and personal stylists to create digital boards filled with personalized fashion recommendations, which consumers can actually view on their smartphone and purchase directly through Nordstrom.com. Customers can also get advice of salespeople or personal stylists by having a conversation with them through the Nordstrom app. Now, Nordstrom Local will be located at 8401 Melrose Place, which is on the corner of Melrose Place and Melrose. I feel like I'm in a bad 90s TV show right now. Congratulations, Nordstrom. I can't wait to see what this concept reaps for you. Now, in closing, the last few weeks have been very difficult for tens of millions of Americans and for Mexicans, as well as our neighbors to the south in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean. Between the horrific and historic destruction caused by Hurricane Harvey and Irma, the threat of Hurricane Jose and the 16th anniversary of 9/11, and the earthquake in Mexico, August and September have just been gut-wrenching. But there is a silver lining to this very dark cloud, and one that I hope people actually truly pay attention to. In the face of tragedy, we saw countless stories of people coming out to help others. We saw people reaching out in situations that put their own lives in danger to help those others. We saw companies giving endlessly to hurricane relief. Tonight, you've got basically a brand block across all networks for a celebrity and musician-driven telethon. It's just incredible. We've seen Republicans and Democrats alike crossing the aisle to help their fellow Americans. My point is, why does it take tragedy and disaster to remind us of the very lessons that 9/11 taught us? Remember, never forget? We'll never forget that we are all Americans, and acting as the divided states of America gets us nowhere. It has been incredibly refreshing, to the point of tears, to see the United States of America shine again in the face of uncertainty. Please, folks, let's try to remember that feeling every day. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of The Daily Mix TV. We would love to hear from you, so please email us at thedailymixtv@gmail.com. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.